Wonder vs. Hydrus, Elephantine Electric Eel. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away... No, that's too obvious for a lead-in. Well, despite that, let's get back to Hydrus. Now, at this point in Shadow of the Colossus, this is the second boss fight to have been in a water location. And since the only other one was avian, a bird, you can understand that there is no similarities to a boss fight with a fish and a bird. Hydrus is in this case an electric eel, using large tendrils coming out of its back to direct electricity at its enemy, which is you, Wander, the pestilent killer cockroach. In the battle itself, you have to swim along and grab onto Hydrus' tail in order to continue down its body where the sigils are in order to stab them. But throughout the climb forwards, you have to contend with the lightning tendrils that can be deadly if not dealt with quickly, since water is its literal best friend and can send you off its body, so you have to start again, possibly contributing to the infernal rage at this giant fish, who you hate with every fiber of your gamer being. So, in any case, the tendrils have their own weak spots that you have to contend with as well as the sigils themselves. Your only weapons are your trusty sword and a swim function, while Hydrus' only offensive capabilities are its electricity and diving depth, which is one of its favorite toys. Sometimes during the fight, it'll dive halfway down to the bottom of the frickin' ocean until you can no longer breathe. Hydrus' intention is to drown the pest on its back as quickly and cruelly as possible, and good luck to it when it's flopping around being killed in the desert. While everything mentioned about Hydrus is true, the near drownings leading to minutes of wasted effort along with trying to find it again, just like real fishing, ha! The electricity being a hell slicer along with the path to its weak spots being so goddamn fucking long, I'm actually not that down on Hydrus since his full use of underwater mechanics makes him a great showcase piece for future water battles, and his combat script being fun and intuitive. Hydrus is definitely a good challenge at this point in the game where the players started getting used to the system in great strides, where these new types of fights adds new points to Wander's repertoire. So without further delay, let's light up the board. Gameplay. Hydrus is the first underwater boss fight that the players face at this point in the game, and he uses his 3 dimensions perfectly, making his incredible diving ability one of his main attack patterns, along with acting like a true hunted fish by trying to rid the pest from its back by drowning it. And while his active combat runs aren't even close to aggressive, his tendrils add even more annoyance and catharsis to a great boss fight, so I'm proud to give Hydrus around 8 2/3 Triforces in this category. Story. Hydrus, again being an underwater boss fight, severely lacks any ability for mobility and freedom that other land-based Colossi have been able to get, such as Quadratus, Valus, and Avian, who have had free function to live their lives on the Coventry Dream. This isolation proves itself to aid greatly to the overall message, while Hydrus itself comes down with the bar but lacking of any actual depth. Hydrus being at the complete mercy of his environment could earn him points in empathy, but with the fish-likeness comes with the counterpoints of behaving like a fish. Hydrus might not actually know anywhere else, and his ignorance could balance out his good story bits. Overall, Hydrus earns a good 7 1/3 Triforces for at least being interesting. Fun. I stated before that Hydrus' fight is fun and intuitive, so this might already be given away, but think about the fight itself. Repeated knockbacks for various reasons off of Hydrus altogether, leading to the rise back up, floating around and spying on the semi-visible foliage-covered electric eel. This fight has almost everything going for it in theme and style. The combat script is near perfect. The splash damage of the electric tendrils is a bit ridiculous, and the tendril weak spots could have been made more obvious to guide the player, but these are just nitpicks to a solid core boss fight that sets up underwater as a possible future for the second half of the 16 Colossi the Light Spirits are telling Wander to go kill. Let's not waste any more time and just hand Hydrus a 9 1/3 Triforces for this one. Overall, Hydrus is what Gyorg from Majora's Mask should have been taking notes from. The difficulty being summed up fairly from environmental factors rather than dick move attacks that leave players grunting with incoherent drawing throat gibberish after 20 fucking playthroughs on the same fight, but rather lengthened in a logical way that ends up with the final blow bringing overall achievement to the player rather than just an end to a completely asinine, dumbfounded super difficulty that doesn't make much sense. Hydrus is an electrifying marvel of a centuries-old fish and deserves the 25 1/3 Triforce score and praise it gets. Just remember, never touch exposed wiring and victory for gamers. I'll see you next round.